At number 5, we have the Aztec Empire. This ancient civilization rose majestically from the central heartlands of Mexico, dominating the region with their powerful military strength and sophisticated societal structures. The Aztec Empire, a mighty powerhouse in the 15th and 16th centuries, was revered and feared by many for their ferocious warrior culture and the complexity of their spiritual beliefs. Their society was built on a rigid caste system, their economy was propelled by an intricate network of trade, and their life was vibrant and pulsating with religious rituals and festivals. The Aztecs were known for their distinctive and meticulous artwork, impressively designed temples and well-planned cities. This civilization was not just powerful but also deeply intriguing. However, what struck fear into the hearts of many was their practice of human sacrifice. As part of their religious rituals, countless lives were taken, leading to a staggering death toll. The Aztecs believed these sacrifices were necessary to appease their gods and ensure the survival of their civilization. The early 16th century brought calamity to the Aztecs. With the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors, a new chapter began in their history. The empire was unable to withstand the onslaught brought about by these foreign invaders. This, coupled with the deadly diseases brought by the Europeans, led to the empire's downfall and the deaths of countless Aztecs, primarily from diseases brought by the Europeans. Moving forward to number 4, we unveil the majestic Mongol Empire. Under the eminent leadership of the notorious Genghis Khan in the 13th century, the Mongols masterminded one of the most colossal and expansive land empires the annals of human history. The Mongol Empire, in its splendid glory and fearsome power, carved out a position of unmatched grandeur in the world. From the heart of Mongolia, Genghis Khan and his armies spread out, conquering vast territories with an awe-inspiring combination of military genius, innovative tactics, and relentless determination. They were known for their cavalry, capable of covering vast distances in a short span of time, their composite bows, which had a longer range than any others in the world, and their expert horsemanship, which allowed them to maneuver swiftly in battles. Their military expeditions and invasions spread the great expanse of Asia, down into Europe, and across the vast deserts of the Middle East. These brutal military campaigns, executed with ruthless efficiency and devastating power, resulted in an estimated tens of millions of deaths. The sheer scale of their conquests, the vast swathes of territories they captured, and the tremendous impact they had on the regions they dominated, shook the world to its core. Their devastating impact, both in terms of human lives lost and the geopolitical landscape they transformed, has been a subject of study for historians and scholars alike. The Mongol Empire, with its blend of brute force, strategic genius, and vast territorial acquisitions, managed to engrave its name permanently, forever cementing their place in history. Third on our list is the British Empire. It might be hard for some to comprehend the sheer breadth and power of this empire. Stretching from the icy terrains of Antarctica to the arid desert of the Middle East, it was not just an empire, but a testament to the Herculean strength of human ambition and desire for exploration. At the pinnacle of its glory, the British Empire commanded vast territories, approximately a quarter of the world's total land area, and ruled over more than 400 million people. That's about 1/5 of the global population of the time. It was an empire on which the sun never set, an empire that was omnipresent and omnipotent. But it was not all grandeur and magnificence. The British Empire was equally renowned and denounced for cultural, economic, and political influence it wielded. Its impact extended beyond borders, from Europe to Asia, Africa to the Americas, and beyond. With this global reach came an unparalleled influence that was palpable in every corner of the world. Nevertheless, this quest for dominance was not without its consequences. The British Empire's policies often caused insurmountable harm, with severe repercussions felt far and wide. From the brutalities of the transatlantic slave trade, the incessant plundering of resources, to the engineered famines in India, this empire's actions were frequently characterized by exploitation and oppression. It was an empire that, while magnificent in its scope, was devastating in its impact. Despite its formidable influence and vast territories, the British Empire was not an unblemished entity. Its actions and policies led to millions of deaths during its reign. Coming in at number 2, we find the Russian Empire, later succeeded by the Soviet Union. This colossal empire was a formidable entity whose roots can be traced back to the late 17th century, heralding its significance on the geopolitical and global stage that lasted for centuries. From the cold, vast expanse of Siberia to the grandeur of Moscow, the Russian Empire was a titanic force in the world order. An amalgamation of numerous diverse cultures, it was an empire that encompassed a broad array of ethnicities and religions, uniting them all under the enigmatic double-headed eagle of its imperial flag. However, as history turned its page, the mighty empire was succeeded by a new entity, the Soviet Union, in the early 20th century. This transition, while marking the end of one era, also ushered in another epoch filled with new ideologies, challenges, unfortunately, some of the darkest events of human history. Under the Soviet Union's regime, Russia became the battleground for power, politics, and colossal human tragedies. The Holodomor, a man-made famine in Soviet Ukraine that took millions of lives, is one heart-wrenching example of the calamities that befell the nation in this era. Another such horrifying chapter was the Great Purge, an extensive campaign of political repression that resulted in a staggering death toll, raising an ominous veil over the history of the Soviet Union. However, it is these events that remind us of the immense endurance and resilience of the human spirit, as well as the consequences of unchecked power and flawed ideologies. Resulting in a staggering death toll that reaches into the tens of millions, the ruthless period of the Soviet Union continues to cast a long, dark shadow over the pages of history. Finally, at the top of our list, we have the Qing dynasty of China. Established in the mid-17th century, the Qing dynasty progresses through time to leave an indelible mark on the world's timeline. This dynasty, which stemmed from the Manchu conquest, gradually transformed into an unshakable empire. It was a period characterized by rapid expansion, territorial conquests, and unprecedented growth. The Qing dynasty was an era of intense cultural and technological advancements. It witnessed an amalgamation of diverse cultures, a manifestation of the empire's immense territorial scale, contributing to its rich, tapestry-like history. A significant aspect of the Qing dynasty was its military prowess. Possessing one of the most formidable armies in the world, it was an entity that commanded respect and fear. However, this strength wasn't merely of military power, but it was also a reflection of their economic might. Their economic prosperity underpinned their ability to sustain large-scale projects and military campaigns. Yet, the Qing reign wasn't all glorious. Its power came at a high human cost. The dynasty's rule was fraught with numerous challenges, including internal rebellion and external invasion. The devastating Taiping Rebellion, one of the bloodiest conflicts in history, shook foundations of the empire. Moreover, the deadly famines that swept across the land during this period resulted in unprecedented loss of life. The death toll during the Qing dynasty is estimated to be in the hundreds of millions. Despite the human cost, this empire's influence and legacy remain unparalleled, securing its position at the apex of our historical list. So, there we have it, the top 5 empires, ranked by their death tolls. Each of these empires, each profoundly unique, held sway over vast territories, commanding not merely the landscapes but the people and cultures that lived there. They had the power to shape the course of human history, influencing every aspect of life within their borders, from economics to art, from philosophy to war. These empires were built by people of great vision and determination, people who sought to create something lasting, something that would endure the test of time. Yet, with this immense power came a heavy price, a price paid in blood, in suffering, and in loss. Each empire brought about unimaginable suffering, causing loss on a scale that's hard to comprehend. They decimated entire populations, destroyed cultures and civilizations, and left scars on the face of the earth that are still visible today. Their actions have left an indelible mark on our collective memory, a grim reminder of the cost of power and ambition. And yet, as we reflect on these empires, we should forget the lessons they provide. We can learn from their successes, but more importantly, from their failures. The mistakes they made, the cruelty they inflicted, these are reminders of what can occur when power is unchecked, when ambition comes at the expense of humanity. We should take these lessons to heart, so as to avoid repeating the same mistakes in the future. As we look back on these empires, we are reminded of the lessons they provide, lessons that continue to resonate today.